After Jesus had risen from the dead, and he appeared to so many, he returned to the Father, but he promised the Holy Spirit would come. And when he sent the Holy Spirit on what we know as the Feast of Pentecost, the apostles started preaching publicly. Now, the apostles didn't get a chance to go to school like you do. They weren't taught how to do public speaking. They weren't taught how to write in the way we write. They weren't taught so many things. And all of a sudden, here they are, the people who had not ever gone to school, who worked hard as fishermen and other ways, now all of a sudden they start speaking about Jesus. And they start telling people about their experience of him and how he's still in them. And they're talking about what's called the Holy Spirit. And the people listening to them realize they know something we don't. We didn't learn this from any other religious leader in the temple or in the synagogue we're praying. These men speak from the heart, and not just about themselves. No, they're talking about Jesus risen from the dead, and that he gives them a power, not like some kind of sparks go out. No, a greater power, a power to change people's hearts. And that Holy Spirit continues in the church today. And for us here at St. Vincent de Paul, in this Easter season, God is inviting us to be aware, how is the Holy Spirit working in me? Do I go out? Do I go speaking to people about Jesus? Perhaps not. But do I show how Jesus is in me? I hope so. Do I show the way I live and treat my brothers and sisters, my classmates, my teachers, my parents? That shows Jesus in me. That shows how the Holy Spirit is alive in you and me. And sometimes we don't even realize it. Sometimes we just read about it in books, or we hear Deacon Kevin or myself, we read from the holy books, but it doesn't seem as something for you and me, but it is. He is for you and me. He is the one who brings us the Holy Spirit. He is the one who shows us God the Father cares for us, even when things are going so wrong in our lives, not the way we would like. So this morning, we hear in the first reading how Peter and the apostles, they're going out, they're speaking about Jesus, and they get arrested, and they get thrown in jail, and then that night, an angel of the Lord comes to help them get out. They go back, not to get away, but they go back to the same place. They go back to the temple. They go to speak about Jesus. They cannot hold themselves back. And that's what we're hoping for you and me, that we do not hold back, that when we know we should be doing something that the Spirit wants, that's something good and right and holy and good for others and for God, we know that inside us, that's the Holy Spirit. And we know Jesus shows us this. And what a gift we have. So the apostles, they kept going. They got thrown in jail. They got arrested. Almost all of them died because they talked about Jesus. Only one of the apostles, John, is said not to have died as a martyr. He just grew naturally older, but John just kept writing more and more. His letters, the first, second, third letters of St. John, and the last book in the Bible, the book of Revelation, is from John. The apostles knew Jesus, and because they knew Jesus, he sent the Spirit to them, and they just couldn't hold it back. So for you and me, it's an inspiration, and it's a motivation for us. See, how can I, in my own way, be like Jesus? Know the Spirit is in, do what they would want, and see what happens. Maybe not great things, maybe not being thrown in jail, but the Father knows when the Spirit is there, he wants to help you to do it, because this is why Jesus came, to die on the cross, rise from the dead, and return to the Father so he could send his Spirit into every one of us here in this church and around the world who are baptized in his name.